Exploding onto the golf scene in the late 2000s, Anthony Kim was the next big thing. Some suggested even that he was the next Tiger Woods. Not only was there a lot of hype around this young phenom, but from 2008 to 2010, he seemed to be living up to it all. However, little did we golf fans know that just a couple years later, Anthony Kim would pretty much disappear completely from the golf scene altogether. Hello everyone, it's your Anak Peter Mata, and today we're going to talk about what happened to Anthony Kim. Born in Los Angeles, California, Anthony Kim was son to Korean immigrants and herb store owners Paul Kim and Mir Young Kim. At an early age, Anthony was exposed to golf from his dad, who would hit golf balls in front of Anthony to keep him calm while he was crying as a baby. From there, Anthony grew an insatiable appetite for all sports, and especially golf. He even claimed up until 9th grade that he believed he'd play ultimately in the NBA, the NFL, and on the PGA Tour, before his size and speed left him with golf. To try to keep Anthony out of trouble growing up from the ever-present dangers of Koreatown, Anthony's parents enrolled him first to the upscale private high school, Campbell Hall. However, trouble still followed as Anthony got into fights defending himself at the school, and while things got better from there, Anthony still wanted to find a better environment where he could hone his golf game. Thus, before Anthony's sophomore year, the family bought a home near the first green of the stadium course at PGA West in La Quinta, California. He was then moved there as his parents stayed behind in Los Angeles to tend to the family business. With his parents only coming on the weekends, Anthony described it best saying, "That was awesome. If you were 16 and you had the house to yourself all the time, you'd be in heaven too." With a place to practice and play now, Anthony saw great success in high school, as he won several times as a junior golfer and was being heavily recruited by many colleges. However, his father remained very tough on him as he grew up, telling him things like second is nothing, only first, and even throwing away his first place trophies if he finished the tournament over par. Seemingly to get away from it all, Anthony accepted a golf scholarship at Oklahoma University. There, Anthony thoroughly enjoyed his college experience, as he became a rabid fan of the university's team sports, and also a very noted partier around campus, all the while becoming a 3-time All-American. While he seemed to be handling everything fine, it didn't come without some criticism. His coach there at the time, Jim Reagan, stated about Anthony that when he was in college, he could have worked a whole lot harder. He got from under the shadow of his parents a little bit and enjoyed the college experience. Nevertheless, Anthony concluded his college experience by turning pro in September of 2006. Again, success on the golf course quickly followed, as in his very first start off a sponsor exemption at the '06 Valero Open, he finished second. Soon thereafter, he went through Q School that fall and then earned his PGA Tour card for the 2007 season. In his first full season on tour in 2007, he hit the ground running by carding 10 top 25 finishes, 4 of those in the top 10, and in total earning more than $1.5 million. This allowed him to earn his card for the 2008 season, which is the season many remembered him for. In his 2008 season, he won his first PGA Tour event in dominating fashion at the Wachovia Championship at Quail Hollow. 2 months later, he won his second PGA Tour event at Tiger's Tournament, the AT&T National at Congressional. Along with those finishes, he had a total of 10 top 25s that included 8 top 10s, 3 third places, and 1 runner-up finish. All this pushed him to a 5th place finish in the FedEx Cup and to his highest world golf ranking of 6 by season's end. Of course, we all remember his electrifying performance at that year's Ryder Cup, where he went 2-1-1, beat Sergio Garcia in singles, and contributed to the U.S.'s win that year. AK backed his prime 2008 season up with another solid season in 2009 and a good one in 2010. In 2009, he had a memorable duel with Tiger at his tournament. And this, along with AK's 8 top 25s, which included 3 top 10s, 2 thirds, and 1 runner-up finish, helped qualify him for that year's President's Cup team. At the President's Cup, he held a 3-1-0 record, and again helped Team USA win that event. In 2010, he won his third event at the Shell Houston Open at Redstone Golf Club. He had a memorable run at the Masters, where he finished third, and racked up 4 other top 25 finishes, which included 2 top 10s and another runner-up finish. After these tremendous breakout seasons, AK picked up many fans and increased his celebrity along the way because of his style, his swagger, and swashbuckling game. As an example, a couple years later he would be featured in things like Shaq Versus and the Celebrity All-Star Game. Clearly life was going good for AK. He was holding up his own against golf greats Tiger and Phil. He was hanging with big-time celebrities and beautiful women, and seemingly enjoying all that came with his newfound fame. Unfortunately, this is where it began to slip for AK, because later in that 2010 season, the injury bug forced him out of action for 3 months. As a result, he failed to qualify for that year's Ryder Cup team, and even when he returned, it was clear the game began to slump. Seemingly dealing with more minor injuries in 2011 and early 2012, AK could not find any consistency, and the results showed. In 36 events during this time, he only recorded 2 top 10s and made only 16 of those cuts. I do still remember his random appearance in contention at the 2011 Open Championship, where he finished tied 5th. But unfortunately, his consistency had clearly fallen off. And for me, this was truly the last time I remember seeing him in contention. Then, in May of 2012, in the very same tournament he won his first PGA Tour event, just 4 years prior at the Wachovia Championship, AK withdrew with an opening 74. This has officially been the last time we've seen AK in tour action. After his withdrawal, it was reported that AK had surgery in June 2012 for injured Achilles tendon. He was expected to be back within the next year and to most likely use a medical exemption. Sadly, we're all still waiting, and we as golf fans will probably have to wait forever. After staying quiet for a couple years, it was reported in 2014 that AK wasn't even playing golf at all, not even for fun. Later that same year, the possible truth was reported. Sports Illustrated reporter Alan Shipnuch reported that the answer very well may lie in an insurance policy Kim has against a career-ending injury. An IMG source pegged its value at $10 million, tax-free. Kim's friend, who has had financial discussions with him, says it's significantly north of that. Not quite 20, but close. That is weighing on him very much so. He's trying to weigh the risk of coming back. The way he's phrased it to me is, if I take one swing on tour, the policy is voided. With this story floating around, AK did do an off-camera interview in 2015 that helped shed some light. In the interview, while he did call golf a fond memory, he mentioned the fact that he still watched golf and had missed the competition. He also even hinted at a possible return, but only once he got healthy. Quote, "I'm not going to compete with those boys unless I'm healthy. I'm not playing with 11 clubs. My goal right now for the next year is to get healthy. At this point, I'm happy where I'm headed." Also in the interview, he mentioned while he did receive monthly insurance payments for his injuries, the insurance policy report was not true. He said, quote, "I paid well into the mid 6 figures for the policy. They wouldn't have paid me every month had I not been to the doctors, showing them all my x-rays, doing all the treatment, the acupuncture, twice a day for physical therapy." While this interview sounded very encouraging then, it's been nearly 5 years and we still have not seen much of AK. There have been several occasions where fans would run into him in the public, and even on one occasion in 2019, a fan asked about his golf game, and AK apparently responded by saying it was non-existent. And there was another occasion recently where AK was seen hitting golf balls on the range. However, there's still been no word about his status. The truth is, we all still don't know what to believe. Their insurance policy story is pretty much the story most believe to be the reason for AK's disappearance, and I'm one of them that believes it. It's still crazy though, for someone to have been in the spotlight so much like he was, he hasn't even given an on-camera interview where he completely set this truth straight. All I know is that the golfing world misses Anthony Kim, and we wish he was still playing because it would have been very interesting to see him compete with this generation of golfers. I contend that if he got his form back, he very well could have racked up double-digit wins along with a few majors by now. Unfortunately, we'll just never know. At the end of the day though, I do hope all is well with Anthony Kim. And like many, I cherish the brief but precious time on tour that he provided us. What do you guys think? Is the insurance policy story true? If continued playing, do you think he would have had double-digit wins by now along with a few majors? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it. I appreciate you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Your words mean something to me.